लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मद् आचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. From the stillness of the cosmos arose Naṭarāja, Śiva, the Lord of the dance. In His Ānanda Tāṇḍava, creation awakens, time dissolves, illusion fades, and liberation shines. From the divine to the earth it flowed, Tāṇḍava through Sage Tāṇḍu, Lāsya through Mother Pārvatī, woven into wisdom by Bharata Muni in his epic creation Natyashastra, passed from Guru to Śiṣya through temples, traditions, and generations. This dance lives on, unbroken, sacred, alive. When a Bharatanāṭyam dancer moves, we do not dance alone. We carry Shiva's rhythm, our Guru's grace, and the timeless breath of the paramparā. Guru Parampara, the sacred thread weaving tradition, knowledge, and love. In Bharatanatyam, the Guru's guidance shapes not just technique, but the dancer's soul. Passing down the art, the legacy lives on. Rooted in the Guru Śiṣya Parampara, my Bharatanatyam journey is shaped by devotion, discipline, and grace. With folded hands and a grateful heart, I offer namaskarams to my Guru, Natyacharya Shri H.R. Keshavamurthy Sir, for this beautiful journey of divine art, giving a deeper meaning to my soul.
Auntie, thank you so much for joining me and giving me this opportunity to ask you a few questions. There are so many people that want to ask you so many things. You have so many students and people from the community that want to know so many things about you as a dancer and your journey. So I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you a few questions, if that's okay with you.
It's completely my pleasure, sweetheart. Anything.
So I know me as one of your initial batch students. I only know you as my guru, and I've seen you in classes, and I only see you through the lens of a guru. And I'd like to start asking you questions on a personal level about your personal journey with Bharatanatyam. And my first question for you is, when did you first start learning Bharatanatyam?
If I may ask you, how old were you when you came to Natyanivedan?
I was only 6.
I was 7 when I started learning.
Wow.
I'm 7, I very much remember because I was born in Mysore. So we stayed in a small village called Gundrulpet near Mysore. That's kind of a border of Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. And we moved to Bangalore when I was in year 2. So that when I was in 7 years old.
Yes.
So yes, at the age of 7, when we moved to Bangalore from Gundrulpet, that's when I started learning.
Okay. And what was that journey between you? I don't know whether your family, was it your parents that decided to enroll you in these classes, or did you make that decision, or did you see something that inspired you?
My cousin, who was born and raised in Hyderabad, she was a wonderful Kuchipudi dancer. So at any family events, she would be dancing Kuchipudi and my mommy would be singing for her dance. And to be very honest, out of jealous, I wanted to learn.
Okay, I do remember you referring to Kuchipudi dancing at times.
Yeah. You know how, like, when you're young, when your cousin is getting all the vows, and I'm like, why am I not doing anything? I need to do something.
Yeah.
I need to learn something. So out of a healthy competition, I don't know whether it was healthy or not. I was only 7 years old, so let me not put that way. So I'm like, my parents did not have any idea to put me to the dance class. But I used to put my hand up at all the school events, and only to participate in dance, in the school days and any other functions. We used to celebrate like Independence Day at school with the cultural things and everything. So, and a dance, and one of the teachers who used to be a coordinator for the dance events, she called my mom and she said, this girl really is very interested in dance. You can see that she's very natural in dancing, so you need to put her into a formal learning. And that's when my parents enrolled me to a formal introduction to Bharatanatyam.
Yes. And was Bharatanatyam, do you think, one of the first choices, or was it just, because of locality, it was easier to send you to that?
As you know, Priya, I come from Bangalore, from southern part. So southern part of India, you only mostly, especially in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, the popular performing art form, dance form, is definitely Bharatanatyam.
Right. Okay.
Now it's more open because of the migration from different parts of India. You can see, in Bangalore, a lot of people learning and performing Odissi, Kuchipudi, Mohiniyattam, Kathak and all. But those days in 1980s, it's more of Bharatanatyam.
Okay.
So that kind of drew me to Bharatanatyam naturally, because just around me I could see Bharatanatyam more.
Right. And who was your first teacher?
Yes, I would love to talk about her.
Yes. Was it a female teacher?
My first teacher is.
Right, okay.
Her name was Prabhavati Shastri. So I studied in a school called Vidyavadat Sangha. So they had a Lalitakala Academy in it. So, they had vocal, mridangam, veena and violin, all and Bharatanatyam as well. So they had two teachers Bharatanatyam, and then I was very fortunate to be under one of the best gurus out of two, who was Prabhavati Shastri ma'am. So her dad used to play sitar in Hindi movies and Bollywood movies.
Okay.
And he won a Dada Saheb Phalke award in 2005.
Right.
And she was the loveliest teacher I can ever think. Very friendly, and she used to be always very well dressed, always. And then she used to wear this red lipstick. As a young kid, you need to first admire and enjoy just the company of your teacher before you start learning anything from them. Because only when you like someone, then you'll start learning anything, what they teach and anything what they do. So Prabhavati Shastri ma'am was that to me. The way she dressed, the way she carried herself, the way she was so friendly with her students, and also at the same time very strict. And she gave me the basics, and I'm very glad for that.
Right.
And I did my junior exam under her guidance.
Okay. Right. And how long were you learning with her?
Probably I would say for 5 to 6 years.
Okay.
5-6 years, and I did perform in some of the programs which she organized.
Right.
And then, she had to move to Chennai. That's when, I started learning from Keshamurthy sir.
Yes. So, Auntie, after your first teacher left or moved, you then began your journey with your second teacher. So how did you come across your second guru, and what was your second guru's name?
It wasn't very easy back then to change the teachers because the gurus has to accept a śiṣya. So you can't just walk into any class and say, I would like to be your śiṣya, take me. Which I did. to Natyacharya Shri H.R. Keshamurthy sir, and he just looked at me and just looked at me. That's it. The first time when I saw him, he just looked at me and he goes, "Come on Wednesday, let me see." So this was on Monday. So here it comes Wednesday. I ran back to his class again, and I'm just seeing to catch his glance, but no notice, and I'm like, is he ignoring me? Should I really learn from him? And then towards the end of his class, after 3 hours, I was just sitting there. After 3 hours, he looked at me and goes, who was your teacher before? So who was your guru? And I said, Prabhati Shastri. Okay, come on Friday. So, and I'm like, okay, so Friday am I enrolling? And then he said, come on Friday. So he didn't say yes or no to accept. So here I am, Friday again I went, and then and then again the same thing, 2-3 hours, nothing, and then after that he's like, okay, where have you learned till? And I said, I've done my junior exam under her guidance. Like that, she's moved to Madras. Back then it was in Chennai, so Madras. So now I would like to pursue the art form through you. And with a folded hand, I requested him. So then, because first 2 times I'm like just like that. So third time I had more reverence in me to him, and then he's like, okay, can you show me your Alaripu? So I did Alaripu, and then he said, okay, he looked at the calendar and he told me, okay, Tuesday is a good day for you to come and learn. You come on Tuesday and we'll enroll you. So it took me a week and 3 or 4 visits to Keshamurthy sir just for him to accept me. And till today, I'm so glad that he was able to accept me as his disciple, and I was able to learn under his guidance.
Right. And how old would you have been at that time?
I was 13 years old because I was in year 9. I remember very well. Oh, another thing he said. He asked me how old I was, and I said I'm in year 9. So I said, so when year 10 comes, are you gonna take a break? Because back then also it used to happen, and many children used to take a break and never come back, and so I said, no, I'm not gonna take any break. So and I know I'm gonna manage. So he said, good. Are you learning anything else? I said, no, just dance. He said, okay, then I'll accept you. So what he was trying to say is how eager I am and how much I want to learn from him, and then what's my goal, and am I just a learner casually learning and just moving on, or do I have any goal in my life towards this journey? So he was, before investing his time on me, he was assessing me, my patience, making me go back and forth to him for 3-4 times. But as I said, the day when he accepted me, I felt as if I conquered the whole world.
Right. Yeah, big achievement.
Absolutely.
So what was it like transitioning from having a female teacher to having a male teacher? Because I could only imagine that when you have a male teacher, maybe they're not as understanding, maybe they're more strict. Was that any sort of transition there, or it didn't matter to you? It
did matter to me. As I told you before, I used to adore my first guru, Prabhati Shastri ma'am. Just the look of her used to refresh me. But the look of H.R. Keshamurthy used to threaten me. But at the same time made me very humble.
Yes.
And another thing I have to mention, it took me a while to accept Keshamurthy sir as my guru. So acceptance, it's not only from guru to śiṣya. Even the śiṣya has to open-heartedly accept a guru. Only then whatever the guru teaches, you're able to absorb it. So if you have that barrier, like or if you have that fear or something towards your teacher, you don't openly take everything that guru will teach you. So it took me a while before I started opening up to Keshamurthy sir. He was very strict, and now I realize the values what he taught, because in every lesson, in everything what we taught, what we learned, he had a message for life, not just for the dance.
Yes.
We learned life lessons through him, which I value for lifetime, and I'm so glad that I'm able to pass it down to my students.
Yeah.
And at that time, I never thought that I'll be out of country one day and all the lessons what he taught will be so useful to me. And I'm really grateful for those lessons, not just Bharatanatyam from him.
Yes, yes. I definitely understand that, because I think a lot of my character and who I am is definitely a reflection of me having learned from you. I think if I wasn't taught under your guidance, I probably would have become a very different version of Priya. So I definitely understand what you mean by that.
Oh, Priya, that's very sweet of you. Like also in terms of the dance, you know how the male dancers, Angashuddhi is very different. Like, you know, if they keep their hand there like this, if the mudras are very stiff, and the way they're not as agile as the female dancers. So I used to feel a little funny to learn, say for example, Shringaragari from Keshamurti sir, because the way he stood in Tribangi was absolute stubborn. And like I used to be ashamed of myself that being a lady, being a little young girl, I wasn't able to show that Tribangi, the way he stood like a sculpture. And he always wore a dhoti, like, you know, dhoti and it's always white. I've never seen my guru in any other color. So I used to wear a different color shawl, but it's always white dhoti and white kurta on the top. So when he stood in Tribangi, we could, and he used to show like these are the cuts. You should have the cut in your neck, a cut in your waist, cut in your ankle. This is how the Tribangi is. You know, when I thought you should not
And I can see from all the pictures that you've shown us, as we were also learning of your guru, how his posture was so straight, even in the photographs that you've shown us, the casual photographs.
Absolutely.
And I could see, you know, always wearing a shawl, he had this look about him.
Absolutely. During my Arangetram, my guru was 75 years old.
Wow.
And he used to sit for minimum 3 to 4 hours without moving. He would sit there itself. If he wanted a cup of coffee, he would drink, but he would not move from that, because like he used to sit as if he's sitting for a penance, if he's sitting in the class.
And so for your Arangetram, did he play the Natyanivedan?
Wow. It was his choreography. He played Natyanivedan.
Wow, that's incredible. And so then I know that you then went on to learn from his son as well.
Yes, I did. After Natyacharya Keshamurti passing away. But I was actually here, so I couldn't see him. When I went back after his death, it was so different, because every time when I went back from here, I used to learn something new from him. So that time when I went, I didn't feel like going there at all, because I didn't want to accept mentally that going to Keshamurti Shala and Keshamurti sir is not there. But I had to make that call. So first visit I didn't go. The second visit from here, I gathered my courage, strength, and then I went and I met Prakash sir. And he's a lovely guru again. Like he used to be, along with Keshamurti sir, he was always a teacher in Keshamurti Shala. But because I was more under Keshamurti sir, I didn't have much opportunity to learn from Prakash sir until Keshamurti sir passed away. So after that, my mentor, my guru, everything was Prakash sir. And he's completely a total different person to Keshamurti sir. And you are very lucky that you had an opportunity to meet him. And he came here for your Arangetram, because it was one of my first students Arangetram at that time, and I wanted his blessings and his support, so he did come over here. So you know, he was completely a very soft person, very compassionate and very approachable. You can ask him anything and he would grant you. So it was that easy to approach.
And so at that time, what was the structure of lessons? Was it a once a week, 1 hour thing after school, or what was the structure of your week? as a student?
It used to be 3 days a week class back then.
Wow.
It wasn't once a week like how it's here. No, it wasn't, because you wouldn't learn anything much if you just do it once a week. So it was 3 times a week, and so we knew like what time is the class, and we have to be there 5 minutes before our class starts.
Yes.
We never, not once in my lifetime, even now when I go back from here, when I used to go to Prakasar, not once I made my guru wait for me, even for 5 seconds. The students have to be the first person in the class before the guru arrives.
Yes.
So it used to be that. So finishing the class, it's completely his wish. So
What time?
No, yeah.
No.
No, it's his wish.
Okay.
So if he says, okay, you do Jadiswaram today, you do another Jadiswaram today, you do Padam, you do Varnam, and by then you'll be half tired, or half fully tired, and then you're ready to go, and he goes, no, can you do that Tilana as well? And I'm like, okay, fine. We would never able to say no to him.
Yeah.
If he says do it, we would do. So only going to the class was his wish. Finishing the class was also his wish. Like it wasn't like, we would never dare to say, we've got exams. For the exams, Priya, we used to take even my final year exam, I remember, final year degree exam. I took my book, and whenever we got the break, I used to study in a corner. So we never missed the class. So we knew how to manage the time.
Yes. So then also your practices must have been very rigorous, because you had to have everything ready to go for the next class.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing is, back then we didn't have the videos, right? Like now, the kids are very, very fortunate to be growing up with the technology. They get the lessons every week, what they learn. They get the lessons recorded and sent home to their parents. So they have one whole week to practice with the reference of that video which we made in the class, and they come back next week, to show me what they've learned the previous week, and then learn the next lesson. So for us, everything was in our memory. So everything was here for us, because there was no video. Forget about the regular class recording. So, we used to perform a lot, and not all the performances were recorded either. So I only have my very important performances videos. So I don't have all my performances, because back then it was taking video was not that casual, like today's generation.
So I know as a dancer that your focus would have been, obviously going 3 lessons a week, your focus would have been purely on dance for a lot of your younger years and teenage years. Was there any pressures, as a girl living in India, maybe family pressures, which at times you felt as if you shouldn't have been dancing, or it was too much, or was it very supportive, your journey?
My mom was always very supportive, and my dad initially, he wasn't into this journey with me at all. So the thing was more about caring for me, like the feelings like, whenever I come back from the dance class, he would see me sweating, dripping from my bones, and he would say, why do you have to work so hard? Just it's okay. And then in the winter days in Bangalore, because my class used to be early in the morning, so it used to be 6 o'clock in the morning. So I used to wake up at around. I never used to have a shower before going to the class, because I know I would sweat a lot. So I would wake up at 5:15, 5:15 in the morning, and then have a glass of milk. The ragi drink we used to have, because I need that energy for 3 hours, right? And if I eat any breakfast, it's hard to dance. So, like how you girls have wheat picks, we used to have a ragi drink then. I used to have that, and then cycle and go to class.
Okay.
So by 5:55, I'm in the class. So, and then 5, 6 o'clock, I'm in the class. And then 6 to, it used to be around 8:39, and then come back and then get changed and then have my breakfast and then go to college.
Right.
This was our routine in the senior classes, after I finished my school. So my dad used to, and especially in winter months, used to go, oh, do you really have to wake up this early? Do you really have to go that far? It's too cold, it's dark, I don't want you to be cycling in the streets by yourself. So I did have a little bit of that. But then when he came and watched me, my first performance was a Durga dance. He cried so much, and then after I came out of the stage, my dad did this to me. So that's the respect he gave it to me, like a performing artist. Like, you know, he didn't see me then as his daughter. He saw me as an artist, and that from that point on time, like I had complete support from both my parents.
Right. So you said your first performance was a Durga dance.
Yeah.
So how old were you, and how did this first performance come about?
I was in 11.
Right.
So we used to call that as pre-university course.
Okay.
So I was in 11. So I was under Natyacharya Charkeshwamurthy sir's training for nearly 2-3 years by then, and he put me on the stage for the first time for our annual school day function.
Wow. And was this in a group? It was a group?
It was a group.
Yes.
Oh, solo performance was big no-no back those days until we perform Arangetram.
Okay, so only after that you could do. Okay.
Until then it was only a group performance, and even the group, like, you know, you can't put your hand up and say, I'm gonna dance, put me in the dance, I would like to be on the stage. No, it's his wish, his will. You need to prove to him that you are able to dance, only then he will choose you.
Right.
And we waited.
Right.
We
So
never rushed.
how long was that wait for you?
For me, in Keshwandatishala, it was 3 years. 3 years, absolutely no performance.
3 years with no performance?
No performance. And that year, when I performed, that was the year I took my senior grade exam. So I was very dedicated, and even the exams were totally different to what it is now.
Wow. And so when you were told, I'm assuming Sir would have said to you that you're performing at this location this time, or was it something you felt was coming?
Kind of yes and no, because he only would teach that dance to everybody in the class, and everybody will try to do the best to make sure that you impress your teacher.
Right.
So only then he would choose, because that was actually a Navadurga dance. So he only needed 9 of us. So I think we were around 16 or 17 of us in a batch, and we all learned that dance. So it was a bit of a competition between 16 of us, like who he will choose.
Yes.
So we all did our best to impress him. And then it was his call to tell us, because we needed costumes, right, to perform. So he would give us, like, you know, maybe couple of weeks notice saying, okay, you are in. And this is what you need, and this is where the performance is, and this is how you're gonna look, and this is the costume you need to wear. So that's how it is.
Wow. And so then after that first performance, did you go on to regularly perform, or again was it, you know, only when you're told that you're...
I was quite fortunate. He put me more and more on the stage.
Okay.
He did, and I'm so grateful for all the experiences. It wasn't only weekend performances back in India. It used to be like, you know, weekdays in the evenings, mostly in the evenings. And if there is any festivals, it can be in the temples in the morning, to the daytime and everything. So if it's in the evening, if it's in a weekday, you would only pray that he would choose you to perform. You never say no. And even if you have exam, I've had performed during the exams as well. So you will have exam next morning, but you're performing tonight. So you go to your college, you come back early because you need to get dressed and then perform. And in between the performances, if you have time, you know, study there, and then next day morning you go.
Right.
You know, you just go and do your exams. So there was never, it's my exam, I'm not going to do, and exams are coming up, I'm not going to do anything else other than studies. No, we did everything together.
Okay.
And we were too good in managing the time.
So now I have a really interesting question for you.
Okay.
we all have one adavu or one thing that we hope the Guru never asks us to do in class because it's painful and you don't want to do it and your mind will go into panic mode. What was that one adavu or one dance or one step that you did not enjoy doing and why?
Kuditta mettadu.
Oh wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that answer.
Kuditta mettadu. The only reason why, because he used to make us do all the adavus in 3 speeds. Some of Mandi adavu also I never minded doing in 3 speed. Kuditta mettadu, you know how when you do you need to literally go on your toes and then that in 3 speeds was always a challenge. And I always rush. So you know how sometimes you try to surpass the talam, if you're going tai, hat, tai, you try to be only to be a little bit more faster, tai, hat, tai, so that you'll finish slow, but that there was no chance of that. So,
wow.
So yes, Kuditta mettadu is one adavu which I was like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
And that was always on Wednesdays.
So you remember the day as well. And out of the full margam, so you've got start to finish, you've got your Pushpa Anjali to Tilana. What was the one dance really wasn't as interesting as the rest, or you didn't particularly enjoy?
Once you come, once you complete learning all the adavus, learning Alaripu is so exciting. You feel like you're a queen or a king because you've completed learning all the adavus and you started learning the first step in Margam. So learning Alaripu is fantastic. But after learning few varnams, few tilanas, few padams, few jaulis, and in a normal class, if my guru after varnam, after adavus, if he says, do Chaturishra Tilana, Chaturishra Alaripu, you're like, oh, really? Do I need to do that? So it's what he taught us was no dance is small or big. Doesn't matter how many varnams you know. If I ask you to do Alaripu, you need to do Alaripu.
Yes, and perfectly.
Perfectly.
Yes. And so in saying that, then what was your favorite, most enjoyable adavu?
Enjoyable adavu. Tirman adavu.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even now in the class,
Yes.
when you all do, I get very energized.
Yes.
I love Tirman adavus.
Okay. Yeah. And your most favorite? So this is a big question because I know how you love Abhinaya and I know how well you're amazing at it. What is your one dance that you've been taught which is so precious to you? It's one piece that you love and you can perform it and you still feel the same way that you felt when you were learning.
You guess, I've already told you in the class.
I feel like it would be a Krishna, something to do with
No, you'll be surprised. Shringaraveri.
Yes, that would be my second guess. If not for something Krishna, because I know how much you love Krishna.
No, Shringaraveri. For some, it's only because just the Attani part in Shringaraveri, he taught me for more than a month. A month for sure. So that is a month, 3 days a week. So 12 classes just to learn 3 speeds Attani. And just to stand in Tribangi, he took 12 classes.
Wow.
So I know when I taught you,
yes,
I taught you for a month.
Yes.
When you did it for your Arangetram.
Yes.
So which was 4 classes.
And we started 1 year before.
Yeah.
You insisted that we should start now for next year, October. Yes, I remember.
Yeah. And then that's why after 12 years, when I asked you to do it on the other day in the class, the way you used to do it in Tribangi was perfect.
Yeah.
That's because so much of training has gone in just to even stand in Tribangi and just to do the Attani in that way. So even if I ask you to do it, or even if anybody asks me when I'm 70 years old, I'll still do Attani in the same way as my guru taught me when I was, how old was I? I think I was, when I learned Shringaraveri, I'll be around 19 years old.
Wow.
Yep. So even if now or even 20 years later, if anybody asks me to do Shringaraveri, I'll do it with the same energy and same enthusiasm and I've got so much love for that Guru.